So people still out there. All right. So actually, when you do programming, um, basically, you usually uh, do not do a very very lengthy expression uh, all at once, right? You start with simple expression, simply like this, right? Because so far we are trying to visualize this uh, comic data set, right? So every character we want to make it as a point. So we only want to specify, we only need to specify the x coordinate, the y coordinate, and then you make a chart like this, right? And if you're not satisfied with these things, you actually can like uh, by adding more and more mapping, right? By specify the scaling, by specify the panel, then you can enhance uh, the graph. You can enhance the figure uh, point by point, right? That's the way we do programming. Okay. Um, but after you do all of this, it's still quite difficult to see the information that we want to. For example, you know that this point is has a very high appearance, but who is this guy? You do not know it, right? But by the shape, you know that this is a good guy, and this one is a neutral guy, right? Uh, it's a guy because we know that it's male, right? Isn't it? Right? But who is this one? It's right. Still very difficult to extract the information that we need to see, right? So the next step is I want to teach you some uh, basic technique so that you can actually uh, uh, see more information from a large data set. Okay. The first question is that there are too many points, right? There are too many points in this graph, make it very crowded, and you cannot see the important point that you want to see, right? So first of all, let's get back to the HTML. I think it's easier. It will be a lot easier to explain what we want to do. The first thing that I do is actually I do a group by publisher, okay, and then I do the top N 100. This is actually the dplyr function, right? By doing this, I pick up from every publisher. I pick up the only 100 character that had the largest number of appearance during in the data set, isn't it? Right? So after I do this pipe, at the end of this pipe, I will only have 200 data point left, isn't it? Right? Because from each publisher, I'm selecting 100 character of the largest appearance, right? So actually, within the graph, I only see the 200 character of the most appearance, isn't it? Right? So one way to make a very, very crowded chart uh, kind of readable is try to do some filtering, right? Try to do some filtering. You can do a top end, you can also do a filter, right? It's the same thing, right? But maybe you do not care too much about this low appearance character, right? If you want to only see the, because the superhero is always has a large of has a large number of appearance, right? So you can actually, by applying the dplyr function call, you can select the most important data point that you want to visualize, right? That is the first step. And then this 3 line of code we already explained, right? So I don't want to say it again. A new function code that I'm using here is at the geom point, I specify the alpha. Alpha is actually a kind of transparency, because some of this point they are overlaid by each other, right? So you would want to have some transparency so that you can see the overlay point better, right? Zero, the alpha should be a number within 0 and 1, right? So right now I'm using 0.8. If you want to see the color lighter, then you can see maybe 0.6 or make the things a little bit lighter. I can try this. Okay, see if I use 0.6 and I do this. What's happening? Why is it's not working? Where does it go? Sorry, let me reset it. And then I do this. Oh, sorry. I should do this. As you can see that the if I use 0.4, the color will become lighter. So you need to do 2. Okay, so it's you can see the overlay things here. So this alpha is actually just specify the transparency of the point. Okay, and again we want to use black and white style, and then in this theme actually you can use the theme function code to fine-tune the font size, right? In this case, I want to use a smaller font. Okay, use a smaller font. And then this lab function code is specify the label that we want to put on the entire chart, and also on the X, on Y, on the legend. I don't want to use the access titles. Otherwise, it would become if I only do this. It will become too crowded if I put all of X, Y, and also the color and the legend titles. So I actually kind of like erase them out of the chart. Okay. So after I'm doing this, you can see that I do not plot this thing directly. If I do so, if I do not save it into a data object, it will kind of make the plot directly. Okay. If I do this, sorry. It's not easy to do that. Let me do it again. If I only execute this, it will make a plot directly. Okay. As you can see that in this code chunk, I actually put this expression and set the outcome into a data object called GG, right? Okay. And if I do that, it will not make the graph, but it will set these things into a GG object. The reason I want to do that is, if you simply use the GG plot to make a plot, the plot is not interactive, which means that you still do not know the name of this. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Okay? You still do not know that, right? In order to make the chart interactive, you need to set this ggplot object into an object name, okay? So that after you execute this code chunk, the graph will not be plot directory. Instead, it will be set in the data object called GG, okay? And then you can call the ggplotly. You can use the ggplotly function call to make this plot interactive. Okay, let me do that. Now this plot will become interactive. Okay. Let's go to here. It's easier to see that. If I point here, it will tell me who is this guy, right? The name of the character, its sex, its alignment, the number of appearance, the first year that it appeared, right? So with this chart, it will be actually, if you hover over the point, you can see the detail of each point, right? And to do that, you actually set the ggplot into a data object and then call this ggplotly function call. This ggplotly will make the static plot into an interactive plot. Okay? So with this interactive plot, you can actually do a lot of things. You can, for example, if I only want to see the female, bad female, right? I can click that. And you can see that only one bad female exists, right? You can click it again and the filtering is going out. Okay. If I only want to see a good male, then I double click good male, right? Okay. If you want to see all of the male, you can actually add all of the male into the box. Okay. It means that when you call this ggplotly, you can actually use the legend to select whatever you want to see, right? For example, if I want to see a good female, this is the good female. You see that? Okay. So with this feature, you can actually you can also zoom in to see a portion of the point, right? And you can, within the zoom in, you can steer by hovering over the point to see the detail inside each point, isn't it? Right? So the point here is like, this is what I mentioned here, right? The ggplot together with the ggplotly package, it will give you the capability to filter, to specify, and when you zoom out, you can see the trend, right? When if you press this home here, it would bring the original chart here. And in this chart, you can see that the male superhero tend to have a higher appearance than female, right? When you zoom out, you see the trend, right? And when you actually zoom in, you can see the detail in that spatial area, right? Or you can actually use this to specify. For example, I only want to see a good. Sorry, you double click it, then it will select it, right? And if you click it once, it will add. Or, for example, I also want to see a good male. So this is only the good female and good male, right? Okay? So this interactive chart will give you a lot of things so that you can select and filter out and see what you really want to see, right? So with this capability, I would like to do some exercise, okay? Raise your hand so you can get some extra point in the score, right? Now, directly from the chart, you can answer some of the complicated questions, such as who are the most appearing character in DC and Marvel? Anyone? In this chart, who are the most appearing? Sorry? There are two people, right? One in Marvel, one in DC. So in the DC, who is the largest one? It's Batman, right? See? And how about in Marvel? Spider-Man, right? Good. And then the second question is like, who are the most appearing female good character? Now I only want to see a female good character, isn't it? Right? So I press a home. Actually, what am I doing here? And if I only want to see a female good character, I'll just click this. Sorry, I need to double click it. Okay, so this is the good female, right? So the good female, who is the larger appearance? Good female. Anyone? It's not difficult to see, right? Isn't it? Can we have another people? The appearance is here, right? It's the y-axis. So who is the good female? Right now I only see show the good female, right? So who is the... Sorry? Yeah, Susan Storm in Marvel, right? And actually in this side is Wonder Woman. isn't it? See, it's kind of like very handy, right? When you have this interactive chart, you can see a very large data set and extract the most important data point that you want to see. Okay, and then how the numbers of high appearance neural character varies in times. Okay, I want to see the trend, right? I want to see how the number of high appearing neutral characters vary in time. So what you want to do is like, first of all, you want to select the neutral neutral characters, right? Neutral character is like this one, sorry, and also this one, and this one, right? How is that?
There are less and less neutral characters in Marvel when compared to 60s and 70s.
Right. There's a trend here, right? You can see the trend, right? There are less and less neutral character in Marvel, okay? Kind of like after the 1970s. That's a trend. See? So when you have this interactive capability, right? You actually can answer some very complicated question without typing a lot of comments, as what we have done in doing the Kahoot, right? Isn't it? Right? By looking the chart, and if the chart is interactive, you can actually answer a lot of questions very intuitively and very actually it's more fun, right? By doing things this way, isn't it? Right? Okay? So this is the basic technique that I would like to teach you in scatter plot. Okay? Actually, scatter plot can do a lot more. For example, as I do here, I actually can do for example, in this side, this is the ratio of bad people, and this is the ratio of dead people, and in every box, it is actually a kind of this is I think this is white hair, blue eyes, okay, and this one is actually black hair, blue eyes, okay. I actually group the information, right? I group the information into the by their hair color and eye color, right? So I can see that for every different appearance, for the character of some specific appearance. For example, in this chart, can you see because the x-axis is mapping to the ratio of bad guys, okay? So the people with brown hair and blue eye actually has the largest proportion of bad guys, okay? And if you see a red hair and green eye character, it kind of it tend to be a good guy, right? Because their bad guy ratio, their bad ratio is the lowest, right? Okay, and for this one, it actually for black hair and brown eye, it actually is the lowest, a very low bad guy ratio, and it also have a very low death ratio, isn't it? Right? So you can see a lot of information because so far I'm first of all I group the different appearance into a group, and the point size is actually the number of character in this group. Okay, and the color represent the ratio of sex. Okay, red color mean female ratio, and blue color means blue ratio. Okay, so can you see that what type of appearance has the largest ratio of female? If I want to see that from this figure, because the color represents the ratio of female, right? So which group has the largest ratio of female? In this color, can you tell? This group, right? Red, green, right? Red hair and green eye, it has a very high ratio of female, isn't it? Right? Okay. And if I want to see the group that has the largest number of bad guys, then it should be this one, right? Because the bad guy is in the x coordinate, isn't it? Right? So in this way, you actually can see multiple, you can compare multiple attributes. That is the point, right? We want to compare multiple attributes. So far, I'm comparing the ratio of bad, the ratio of death, the ratio of female, and also the group size out of all of the different appearance group. You see that? And that is the spirit of data exploration. First of all, you put people in different groups, right? And you compare multiple attributes among these multiple groups, isn't it? That is the purpose of what we want to do. Okay, if you go to your RStudio and let's see that in code. So far, you should already have a Tafan 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. So if I take a look at there's an explore HTML. See, here is a chart that every bubble is an H group, right? And the group size is represented by the bubble size, right? And the X coordination represent the average revenue per transaction, right? So you can see that which S group has the largest number of average revenue per transaction. Which S group tend to buy more in every transaction? Can you see that? Which group? Yeah, answer it.
39, 34, 39.
Yeah, 44, 33, 33, 39, right? These groups tend to have a larger among the buying, right? And which group has the largest, this is the frequency, right? Okay, average frequency, which means that, for example, in this group, then I can see that its frequency of buying is about 3.7, right? So which age group tend to visit the store more often, most often? Which group? Which group has the largest frequency to visit the store? Age group. Raise your hand. 69, right? Because it's here, right? So the 69 group, it has the characteristic that it actually it go to the store more often, but their purchase number is actually small, right? They do not buy too much, right? They come to the store very often, but because these age people, they have more time, right? So they can go to the store more time, but because they go there very often, so they do not buy too many money or people, isn't it? Right? So in this one graph, I actually compare the buying behavior, right, of among the age group, right? You can actually make another chart to compare among different area, right? Isn't it? Right? You can actually make another chart to compare margin instead of buying frequency, right? To compare of the profit contribution instead of average revenue per transaction, right? So this is what we mean by data exploration. You basically, first of all, you use the group by summary to make a data frame, so that you can divide your customer into different groups, right? And you can compare this different group. You can compare a lot of variable, right? By mapping the groups different variable into x coordinate, into y coordinate, into color, right? Into the shape, okay? And then by doing that, maybe do some interactive. You can also make this chart interactive, right? So you can see it better and better, right? Okay? So scatter plot is actually very useful, okay? And usually in this business analytic, when you are doing business analytic, you usually tend to group your unit of analysis, right, into with different grouping variable. You actually can group your customer into different group. You can, instead of customer, you can also compare product category, right? Isn't it? Right? You can also compare weekdays, right? So for whatever, you can group the data into different group and summarize the variable of your interest. In this case, it's the margin, it's the revenue contribution, it's the profit, it's the frequency of buy, that type of things, right? Okay? So when you understand this, you understand your operating performance in the store, right? Then after understand your current operating situation, you can set your strategy, right? For example, in this chart, you might want to like kind of like, because this group of people, they come to our store very frequently, but they buy very few things, right? So maybe you want to kind of create an area and try to like, you know the age, right? And you know what type of product they buy most, right? So you might want to use allocate a space in your store and put some product which is attractive to this age group, so that you can increase their average revenue per transaction, for example, from like 500 to 650, right? This is a kind of strategy that you can do, isn't it? Right? See, and you can see that this group of people, they tend to every time they come to store, they tend to buy a lot of things, right? So you can try to increase their give them some incentive, give them some coupon, do some promotion, do some advertisement, right? Try to do some event, try to like increase their number of transactions, right? See, that is the point, that link the data into strategy. Do you get my point? Right? You get the point, right? Okay. So this week I only want to like kind of introduce you the ggplot. The purpose of this week, I want to introduce a few plot in and the function and the power of ggplot. Starting from next week, I will go back to the Tafang data set, and together we'll do more data exploration on that real data set. Okay? And in your midterm, okay, as I told you that we will do our midterm at December the 6th, okay, which is 1 week after your midterm examination, okay. So next week I will go back and try to do more data exploration on this week we will learn ggplot, okay. And next week, we will use the technique that we learned from ggplot and dplyr, apply them to the Tafang dataset. Okay? And also, the week after, I will teach you some clustering and dimension reduction technologies, which is also useful in data exploration. And then in this week, we would like to do the midterm. Okay? So in the midterm, I want you to, like, each group, I want you to, I should already say so, right? In last week's presentation. Yeah. The midterm objective, I want you to do data exploration, okay? And after doing that exploration, I want you to do some kind of executive summary, right? So you know the status, then what is your marketing strategy? right? Okay? You might want to select a group of customer. You might want to select a group of product category, right? And you should tell me that at this point of time, what is their performance, right? And you should give me that why you want to select this group as your marketing focus, right? And you want to set a goal, right? For example, their average frequency of buy is like 3.5. You want to increase it to 4, okay? Their average amount of buy is actually at this point of time it might be like $850. You want to increase it to 1,000, right? Isn't it? Right. So in order to do that, this is actually in last week's PowerPoint, right? So you don't really need to copy that, right? Okay. So so this is what we are going to do in the next few weeks, okay? This week I will continue to teach you more about ggplot2. And then next week we will use dplyr ggplot2 to explore the fund data set, okay? And then the week after, actually, I will teach you some more advanced grouping. This is actually some advanced grouping technology, right? To help you do a grouping more flexibly. And then it's your midterm, okay? And the midterm is not like you going up and do a presentation. I want you to prepare a video, okay? An 8 minutes video, okay? And we want to do a cross rating, okay? Okay? This is the cross rating. Every group I will give you 6 tokens, right? And from 3 years back, you can select the 2 most successful team, right? So you can kind of do a close rating type of things. And TA and myself also do a rating for you, okay? And one thing I can tell you is that we will have a prize. Actually, money, okay? I'll give you, like, for example, $3,000, $2,000, $1,000. It's okay. That's the point. Okay. Because this course is kind of like subsidized by the government. Okay. So we actually have some incentive that can give you and also make the course more interesting, right? Okay. See, this course is actually not easy, right? It's kind of heavy for you, especially for those who are doing programming, never do programming before. When you go to this course, it's actually not that easy, right? Okay, you might not be able to write a very good program, but I will try to give you a lot of example, so you don't need to do everything from scratch, right? Use this example and try to exercise what it is like to do data analysis, to do business analytics, right? And the first half of this semester, I would like you to do data summary, to do data exploration. And with that finding, I want you to do the strategy. And in the second half of the semester, I will teach you how to do prediction, how to do simulation, okay? So you can actually estimate, right? You will have a different type of marketing campaign. you can see the return of investment on each different campaign, right? Okay. I wish that I can bring you through the entire process of a real business case, okay? From data to strategy to campaign design, and also to evaluate the return of investment of this campaign, right? That is what we are going to do in this class, okay? You might not be able to, the objective is not to train you into a good programmer. It's not the point, right? I just want to let you have the idea about what business analytics is doing, right? And I want you to have a holistic understand of the entire business analytics process with a real case. Okay, that is the point. Okay, got it? Okay, so yes.
Sorry, sir. November 16th isn't it Thursday?
November 6th. Sorry, let me check the calendar. Maybe I put the number wrong. Should be. I think it should be. November the 6th. Yeah, November the 6th. It's not, it's wrong. Okay, that's right. Okay. Sorry, I put this wrong. Should be November 6th. Okay. In our website, the date is correct. Okay. It's got a point, right? So let's learn more about ggplot, okay? Actually, we are running out of time. So let's take a break until 10 after 11, and let's get back, and we'll continue with the class, okay?